shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
The rain is moving out and the cold air moving in. I'll show you who's under the freeze warning for tomorrow morning.
Cleanup underway. Torrential downpours and strong winds caused damage across the state.
It's like, oh my gosh, please don't fall in my house.
Hear from a woman who recorded the moment a tree came crashing down and taking power lines with it. Plus,
Florida is back on top of the college basketball world. Championship madness.
Oh, it sure was. NCAA championship madness. The Florida Gators are on top of college basketball for the first time in 7 years. Reaction to their win over the Houston Cougars. And a come-from-behind win again. The Gators do it in dramatic fashion, certainly. It has been a wild March Madness carrying into April now, and we're glad you're with us here on our Tuesday. I'm Jeff Hogan.
and I'm Renee Chu, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Jeff Hogan here won the WRAL Bracket Challenge this year out of the 20 people in the newsroom who took part. And my goal was to beat him, and that did not happen this year.
Wow.
But you picked Florida, so there you go.
I did. I did.
Congratulations.
And look who won. How about it? I went, boom, there you go.
Yeah, that was me too.
Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Right now, we're going to get lucky enough with some of this rain kicking out.
Yeah, and lucky enough to have some of this rain. Yet we always hate to see the trees down and the severe weather with it. But boy, we needed the rain, and of course it'll settle down the pollen as well. A little bit of light patchy rain still, say eastern Wake County up the I-95 corridor, but it is on its way out. When I was walking across the parking lot, I could feel just a sprinkle or two. But it's moving on out of here. Still cloudy. Still the streets are wet currently. Temperature 53 degrees. Our dew point is 48. So we'll start to see much drier conditions as we get through the day today. Our temperature 40s in Roxborough, South Hill, 40s Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, 50 in Southern Pines, 53 in Fayetteville. And these temperatures will continue to fall. Of course, it's a lot cooler than it was this time yesterday, anywhere from about 15 to 20 degrees cooler. So a big change. And then overnight tonight, much cooler again. 30 in Roxborough, 34 Durham, 40 in Fayetteville. We do have a freeze warning that's in effect from say just north of Fayetteville for the rest of the viewing area. And we'll talk in a little more detail about those chilly temperatures. Expect mostly 40s this morning, and then we'll see a high around 60 this afternoon.
Elizabeth, thanks. Heavy downpour, wind, and lightning all contributed to storm damage around the viewing area. Our southern counties got the worst of yesterday's weather. Take a look at this video from Sampson County. A tree snapped in half, narrowly avoiding power lines and homes as it came crashing down.
Look at that, another one.
We talked with the woman who captured that video. Thankful that nobody was hurt.
It's like, oh my gosh, please don't fall in my house. Because I have trees everywhere, so just really grateful nobody got hurt.
That is good news. We saw similar damage in Wayne and Cumberland counties. And this morning, we're working to learn about any injuries that may have resulted from the storms.
Today, Wake Schools leaders will address a new report that says year-round school calendars aren't improving test scores. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Wake School headquarters in Cary. And Kelsey, researchers will present their findings today to school leaders.
Yes, Jeff, they will in a few hours. Wake Schools leaders will meet here at the board headquarters, and today we'll learn more about new results from that research project on year-round schools. New research shows year-round schools don't improve academic performance. Year-round students are performing just as well as traditional calendar students, according to these findings. Researchers analyze the cost and benefits of year-round schools. Although year-round schools don't impact academic performance, they still have some benefits. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst says multi-track year-round schools help the district handle overcrowding.
That's when you have tracks of students going in and out throughout the school year. That increases a school's capacity. So that's really important, especially in Western Wake County, where the population is growing really fast and the school system has not been able to build enough schools to catch up with that.
School leaders will also give parents an opportunity to share their thoughts on next year's budget later today. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll share how you can offer your input. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
The Wake County School Board will hold a budget public hearing tonight. Anyone interested in speaking about the district's new budget proposal can do so tonight. The meeting starts at 5:30 over at the school district's headquarters in Cary. Superintendent Robert Taylor is suggesting a budget increase, but also plans to cut $18 million, including some counselor positions. The school board plans to hear from people tonight and at 3 other meetings before making a final proposal to county commissioners.
New this morning, China says it'll fight to the end if President Trump imposes an additional 50% tariff on Chinese goods, like he has mentioned. Chinese ministry said this morning Trump's threat to escalate tariffs is a mistake upon a mistake. If the plan is fully implemented, the total tariffs on goods imported into the United States from China would be as much as 104%. Trump threatened the new tariff effective tomorrow if Beijing does not withdraw its 34% tariffs on all U.S. goods by today. Beijing's retaliatory tariffs are scheduled to take effect Thursday.
Starting today, rules and ticket prices will change for Mega Millions. This means your chance of winning prizes will slightly improve. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from Cary. And Laura, the changes come ahead of tonight's drawing.
Renee, good morning. We could see more winners and bigger jackpots here with the Mega Millions drawings because player odds will slightly get better, but it will certainly still come at a cost. Now, starting today, ticket prices will go from $2 to $5. Lottery officials expect that to increase to revenue from the twice weekly game. This enables them to improve the odds of winning the jackpot from 1 in 303 million to 1 in 290 million. Although it is a steep increase, the North Carolina Education Lottery tells us the grand prize is also expected to grow more quickly. The lottery expects the average jackpot will be more than $800 million, which of course is much higher than the current $450 million average.
The excitement certainly builds, as you would expect, when jackpots are bigger, when there's more excitement surrounding them. And we see the numbers and money raised for education in North Carolina follow that level of excitement. So they rise together, essentially.
Now, this is the second time that the Mega Millions ticket prices have increased. The last time was in 2017 from $1 to $2. So, of course, you can always check out those drawings that happen right before our 11 o'clock newscast here on WRAL Tuesdays and Fridays. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Cary.
For the first time since 2007, the Florida Gators are the NCAA men's basketball national champs. And it was a nail-biter of a game between Houston and Florida. The Gators trailed most of the second half, climbing back from a 12-point deficit to pull ahead in the final minute and win it 65-63. Tough loss for the Cougars. This would have been the program's first national title. Houston's head coach Kelvin Sampson is from Pembroke and is a member of the Lumbee Indian tribe.
The North Carolina House of Representatives is poised to approve a bill that would ban diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in state and local government. The proposal is scheduled to go before the House for a vote today. The bill would forbid local governments from using public funds to promote DEI initiatives. It would also require any private organization that receives state or local grants to stop any DEI practices. Local governments would be required to immediately discontinue any current DEI programs that use public funds. It would also ban DEI training, as well as its use in hiring or awarding contracts. Democrats in House committees took issue with the bill last week. The proposal does have support from Republican leaders in the chamber. And if approved, the measure would go to the state Senate for consideration.
The Department of Homeland Security is once again trying to entice employees to leave their jobs. Yesterday, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem sent an email to employees giving them the choice to accept a $25,000 buyout, voluntary early retirement, or deferred resignation. Employees have 1 week to accept one of the options. Law enforcement officials within DHS are exempt from these programs because of their essential roles. The Trump administration previously offered the deferred resignation program to about 2 million employees with limited time to accept. About 75,000 signed up then.
A man is in the hospital after he was shot in Durham. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. It happened just after 8 last night in the 200 block of East Lynch Avenue. A person police believe was a shooter was found on scene and arrested. The man who was shot is expected to be okay.
20 minutes before 5 right now on your Tuesday. Changes for checked bags. The new requirements Delta Airlines is rolling out today that'll require passengers to arrive on time. And we give you this live look in Apex right now. The rain is gone and we are tracking a big cool down on the way. Which areas stand the best chance of hitting freezing tomorrow morning?
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
443, still just a little bit of light patchy rain, especially east of the Triangle area as our cold front moves right on out of here. As that front moves out, the clouds will go along with it. We'll see some sunshine, but a lot of chilly air will come spilling in behind it. So definitely cooler. You know, it was such a warm weekend, well above normal, close to records, and we're going to bring it back down below normal for the next few days. 53 in Durham right now, as well as Raleigh and Fayetteville, all checking in the low 50s, but temperatures may continue to drop as we get closer to 7 o'clock. We could drop on into the upper 40s across a good bit of the area. We do have the top of the tower lit in purple this morning, or pink, I guess I should say, because we have the cloudy skies for us this morning. And our temperatures range from mid 40s to mid 50s. Our temperatures this afternoon, just around 60 for the high.
Elizabeth, thanks. Goldsboro police have released body camera video of an arrest that caught attention earlier this year. 28-year-old Taylor Carter was arrested by police on January 28th in the Grand at Day Point apartment complex. Officers were told someone was trespassing and threatening employees. Carter was wearing a medical boot at the time, and video shows him being slammed to the ground. Here's what happened when officers approached Carter.
What's your name, dog?
Okay, they said get off their property, so I'm going to get off their property.
What's your name?
I'm going to get off their property like you said.
What's your name?
You don't have to harass me. You don't have to walk up to me like I'm not wrong.
Well, you're about to go to jail.
What are you doing? Why are you harassing? Why are you doing that? All right, what are you doing? Okay.
Chill out.
Okay.
For several minutes, officers struggle with Carter. Officers tell him to relax. Carter tells him he didn't do anything and says he will sue the officer. And then officers take Carter handcuffed to a police car where a crowd starts to gather and someone is heard telling him to calm down moments before this.
Bro, y'all not finna know. You got my ID. Why are you trying to trip me?
Get on the 42.
Hey!
Back up, man. I got it.
In the witness videos, one officer can be seen kicking Carter in the foot, wearing the medical boot. Later, officers can be heard telling him that EMS is on the way. He was treated at UNC Health Wayne for his injuries. Carter faced several charges, including trespassing and assault on a law enforcement officer. An internal investigation found the use of force was in line with department policy, but 4 officers were disciplined for that arrest. The department says they violated department policy related to professional presence and communication. The city did not name the officers involved or specifics of the discipline.
Time is 4:46 here in the WRAL Life Center. Keeping my eye on the U.S. futures as I've been doing on the past weekend. Yesterday, we're seeing an improvement overnight with U.S. futures there. You can see the S&P up 78 points and the Dow Jones up 763 points with the Nasdaq up 235. Now, you may recall the last few days of trading, we saw the Dow go down at least, 1,300 points here, but we're seeing some slight improvements with the U.S. futures in that regard. Now, we're going to watch very closely to see the situation as it unfolds between the United States and China, because in addition to the 50% tariffs that President Donald Trump has threatened on China for its retaliatory tariffs onto us, China says that it vows to fight until the end. Their words.
A father and son were killed after a tree fell at a Georgia golf course during yesterday's storms. Officials say the 58-year-old and 29-year-old were hiding from the storm in their golf cart right underneath that tree when it fell and crushed them. The son, Matthew Collins Jr., was a former Columbus, Georgia police officer, and the Columbus Police Department has launched a death investigation.
5 people are hurt after a small plane skidded off the runway in Oregon. It happened at the Southwest Oregon Regional Airport. This is a look at the emergency response. The plane had such bad damage to its nose and ended up in the water. 5 people were rescued from the crash and taken to the hospital. It's unclear what caused the plane to crash.
Trial of so-called doomsday mom Lori Vallow Daybell will resume in Arizona this morning. She's accused of conspiring with her brother to kill her former husband, Charles Vallow. Vallow Daybell is acting as her own attorney. She dabbed away tears during her opening statement yesterday. She denied accusations that her husband's murder was a ploy to gain insurance money and also claimed her brother killed Vallow in self-defense.
Spouses having insurance policies is not a crime. Collecting Social Security is not a crime. Self-defense is not a crime. A family tragedy is not a crime.
Vallow Daybell is already serving multiple life sentences for the murders of her 2 children and a romantic rival. Separately, she's charged with conspiring to kill Brandon Boudreaux, her niece's estranged husband. A trial date has not been set. She's pleaded not guilty.
Should the Chinese government be allowed to buy up farmland here in North Carolina? State lawmakers are scheduled to debate the issue this morning at the state legislature. 2 different bills would target hostile countries from buying land here. The bills target China, Russia, and other U.S. adversaries. One bill would ban just the countries themselves from buying land. The other would go further and also ban any citizens of targeted countries from buying land. The bans would apply to farmland as well as any land within a wide range of local military bases.
Starting today, there's a new cutoff time for Delta Airline passengers to check their bags. The airline is requiring passengers on domestic flights to arrive early to check their luggage. Delta says passengers will have to check their bags at least 45 minutes before takeoff, while people who do not have checked baggage must be checked in 30 minutes before that flight's departure. The new rule is meant to help streamline the airline's operations and make departures more efficient.
It is 4:49 and a different feeling this morning. Elizabeth Gardner tracking how the storms rolled on through and then leaving us with much colder temperatures.
It's going to feel much chillier over the next, say, 48 hours or so, and even beyond. We don't have any 80-degree temperatures again in our forecast until we get to the end of the 7-day forecast. We have just kind of our last dry front that's going to come through, a couple of showers out ahead of it. Once this front comes through, we're really going to feel that push of the cooler air. And again, that sticks around for a while. You can see here just a little light rain lingering there along the I-95 corridor. Elsewhere, we are starting to dry out as all this pushes eastward. Here's a live look at North Hills, and definitely dealing with gray skies as you're heading out the door. And the roads are still wet out there, 53 degrees. And the last observation there at RDU still had a little light rain or sprinkle, but a lot of that is sliding eastward. Temperatures are likely to drop on down into the 40s, and then we'll keep it in the 50s to low 60s for highs this afternoon. Right now, we're already in the 40s in Roxborough, South Hill, Rocky Mount, Goldsboro. It's 50 in Southern Pines, but we're looking at low to mid 50s for Durham, Raleigh, Fayetteville, and Clinton. But again, those temperatures are likely to drop a bit. It's 47 already in Chapel Hill, 49 in Rollsville, but 51 in Cary and 50 degrees in Garner right now. Checking our 24-hour temperature change, it's anywhere from around 15 to 20 degrees cooler than it was this time yesterday. But yesterday we started really warm. A pleasant afternoon, 61 in Raleigh, 60 in Durham, 66 in Fayetteville. We will see clearing skies, so the sunshine will feel good. We'll feel a nice drop in our humidity and a drop in the pollen too after all that rain, but it is likely to be high again for Wednesday and Thursday. It doesn't take much. Speaking of low, temperatures are going to be cold overnight tonight. 30 in Roxborough, 32 South Hill, 34 in Durham and Sanford, 35 in Southern Pines. So we do have a freeze warning in effect for all but just our far southern counties. Fayetteville and Clinton not in it, but everybody else. So if you have any tender vegetation, you definitely want to be careful and potentially cover it up. And I know farmers will be out there doing what they can to protect all those strawberries. Our next weather maker is on Friday with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. I'll show you how much rain we could see.
Thanks, Elizabeth. It's alive! An ancient animal returned from extinction, and we will show you how scientists were able to bring dire wolves back to life.
And volcanic eruption, clouds of ash in the Philippines. We'll show you the moments one of the nation's most active volcanoes erupted this morning.